everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're here once again for some Detroit Lions training camp takeaways. It is day 9. Can't believe it's already day 9. This is part 1. Let's get it started.
What's up, guys? Jeremy Davis here, wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. Just want to encourage the Lions fans and any football fans in general to subscribe to my guys' channel, DoseOfDion.
Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here, and man, I'm excited to be back and discuss some more Detroit Lions training camp, man. Another day of training camp talk. Okay, did I say that joke in the last video about the SpongeBob one? Another day, another dollar. Another day, another training camp takeaways video.
Another day, another dollar.
More like another nickel.
I'm sorry, that was terrible. Oh, and I'm wearing the SpongeBob. I didn't even realize that. Let's go, man. Hey, that fits perfectly. Now, I am saying part 1 because there could be a part 2 to this. And I'm saying right now, we didn't get tons of on-the-field observations in this video. And I think I have a reason for that. But there could be more observations out later. So, I'm not saying there's no chances of part 2. So, I have to say part 1. I have to say it because there could be a part 2. But if there's no part 2, then I may not put part 1 in the title. I don't know. You know what? I may have to change it later down the road. As of now, it is part 1. I'm confusing the heck out of you guys. We have the participation report, which is this looks a little bit better today. We also have some updates about what some players had to say about training camp. So we do have some takeaways, and we have some interesting talk about college football as well. So I'm just going to throw that in here as we go through today's video. But before we get it started, we got to go check out the whiteboard worthy question of the video. And this one is this: what is your favorite college football team? And I'm saying that because it does fit into today's video a little bit. And also, we will have a fantasy football league. I know some people are asking me, hey, will there be a fantasy league? Yes, there will be a fantasy league. I know I'm doing one with ftfn. We're also going to do one for you guys as well. Now, I'm thinking of this. I thought of this. Okay, hear me out. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to want to get into this. So I'm thinking like this. I can't have like 5 fantasy football leagues. I won't be able to keep up. But I'm thinking we have one for just, whoever the people are that are able to get into it. Maybe we'll do like maybe 2. We may have 2, maybe like 14 team leagues, okay? Maybe 2. And then also, I'm thinking we have one, if we get enough members, every member can be in it. And the winner of that one will get a prize. The winner of the other one will just, bragging rights. Hey, I won. The winner of the other one, though, however, will get a prize because it's part of the members. It's a members fantasy football league. So I'm thinking something like that. That way there's kind of a guarantee there for the members. And I know there's going to be a lot of you that want to get in. And I just can't have like 5 leagues, though. So maybe we'll go maybe 2. 1, maybe 2. We'll see. All right, so there will be a fantasy football league. Let me know in the comment section below some rules that you think should be implemented. Now let's get into today's video. Okay, now before we start discussing some Detroit Lions, I first want to just throw this little note in there, is that today Big Ten is having a meeting. The Big Ten, because the college football thing, the Big Ten is having a meeting about possibly having a season for college football, right? Because the first initial word was that, hey, there's gonna be no season, or canceling it, and then they're thinking about possibly, starting it again in the spring. But it's really weird because there's some other conferences that haven't canceled their season. However, there was a meeting today. I don't know what the results were. We'll hear it later, I'm sure. But there was a meeting today to discuss possibly having a college football season for Big Ten teams that would take place in the fall, this fall, just around the Thanksgiving time. So there still could be a season, maybe a little bit later, but there still could be a season. So I thought I would point that out. I know that's gonna make some people happy. It's big. I'm a Michigan football fan. If you guys didn't know, I'm sure there's some Michigan State fans. I know a lot of Michigan State fans. Okay, I know a lot of them. I play with a lot of them. I don't like it, man. Michigan State, come on, man. I know a lot of you guys are Michigan State fans as well. So let me know in the comment section below. Now let's discuss some Detroit Lions. So we're going to start off with the participation report as usual. And we know yesterday it didn't look so good, right? There was some rough edges on that participation report. There was a lot of players that were not participating. We know some players went down with some injuries. So I'm going to have you guys with a little bit of the update here. Now, I don't have any information on Dan Skipper. I don't know anything about Dan Skipper, how serious that was. I do believe he was practicing, though, because we really didn't have any word on him. At least I wasn't able to find anything. So I believe he was practicing. Now, Big V is expected to be good to go. Big V left practice early. Yesterday he got rolled up in a goal line play, but he is expected to be good to go. So that's awesome. So nothing too serious there with Big V. We know he waved off the cart, so he looks good to go. Again, I don't know really anything about Dan Skipper, but I'm thinking he's okay. I haven't heard anything yet. So maybe either he is hurt or maybe he's okay. I'm not exactly sure. A lot of guys that people are excited about: DeAndre Swift, Bo Scarborough, Hunter Bryant, Deshaun Hand. Those guys were back, just very, very limited today. So they're back, which is a good sign, just very limited in practice. Okay, so definitely some concerns there. It was a rest day for Nick Bawden. Nick Bawden was getting rest. He had an off day, a little bit of a veteran rest there. Also, we saw very limited practice from Trey Flowers and Taylor Decker. Those guys are actually banged up, so there is a little bit of an injury going on with those two players. They've been competing against each other, so maybe they hurt each other when they hit each other. I'm not exactly sure, but they were limited as well. Now, again, the Detroit Lions tomorrow are planning to have, a ramped up, intense, kind of like a scrimmage, which teams have been doing across the league. That's what the Lions are planning to do this this weekend for basically what would be the third preseason week, and then next week as well, sometimes during the week. So the Detroit Lions today took off the pads. There was no padded practice today. Tomorrow they're going to intense it up. They're going to be ready to go. So while they're limited, it was a pretty limited practice in general. Now here's the bad news for the participation report. Here's the very bad news. Cornerback Michael Ford went down with an injury today. I believe it was his right leg, and he was actually helped off by the trainer. So Lions cornerback that's competing for a spot this season. He's definitely in the mix with guys like Tony McRae, Darryl Roberts for the final guys to get in at that cornerback position. Some people like him. Yes, he played a big role for us in some big games. He's definitely squarely on the bubble though, but in an injury like this, if hopefully it's not too serious, because this is not how you want to see a competition or a battle, get decided. You don't want to see it get decided by injury, right? You want to see it get decided by the guys going out there and competing their butts off and then go see who wins that role. Unfortunately though, it could be decided by injury. Hopefully it's not too serious. I don't know how serious it is. I know he was helped off by trainers. Now we did get to hear from a doctor in ftfn Network discussing, the whole trainer situation. It's a little bit concerning. Hopefully he is okay. I'll keep you guys posted on what's going on with Michael Ford, but he went down with an injury, and that was kind of the main bad news today. So hopefully he gets better very, very fast. We're rooting for you, Michael Ford. Get back out there. Like I said, we may not have tons of observations, and the reason that is because the Lions practiced indoors, which I believe was the first time in training camp the Lions did a practice indoors. And because of that, some media members were not allowed in. I guess they couldn't get their observations from it. So if we do get some, that'll be a part 2. But as of now, we don't have a ton. However, we did get to hear from a few players. We got to hear from some coaches. We also got a mic'd up video of our wide receiver coach, Prince. That was a pretty cool video. You guys should definitely go check it out. I think they showed some flashes of that in our last training camp, last time they were live. But they showed like a full mic'd up video over 5 minutes long. That was really cool. Okay, Prince is bringing the juice, bringing the energy. And we got to hear a couple players talk about that. First off, we got to hear from Danny Amendola, and he discussed their wide receiver coach, Robert Prince. He said that he is one of the best coaches that he's ever been around. One of the best coaches. We know he brings the juice. Okay, that's a great, bring the juice, baby. I love it. One of the guys in ftfn, he's a Colts ambassador. The show is known as, I think, the Bring the Juice podcast. It's just always stuck in my head, so I like it. Bring the juice. I love it. It's really catchy. But Danny Amendola talked about him being one of the best coaches he's ever had. He also discussed, Jamal Agnew. Jamal Agnew's easy transition has been so far to the receiver position, and he also said he would be a huge part of next season. He discussed some of the young players, and there is no preseason games this offseason. We heard that from a few people that we got to hear from today, discussing some of the young guys and the challenges it is for roster bubble players to make the team without preseason games and live action on the field to really prove themselves. Danny Amendola said that, hey, players have to do really, really well in practice to kind of make themselves stick out. So I think, me personally, we got to give credit to guys like Quintez Cephas, who have made a name for themselves. Jamal Agnew, who I had a little bit of a name for himself because he was already transitioning, but he's done it so well. It seems like that's huge. We've heard from a lot of guys, Jalen Reeves-Maven, Jared Davis, just some of these guys have been able to step up. And then, of course, the rookies, without preseason games, we've been able to kind of stick out, right? They've been able to stick out amongst the group. And then, obviously, the veterans, guys like Marvin Jones, Amani Oruwariye. So it's just great to hear that, these guys, even without preseason games, are able to go out there and kind of stick out, right? To be able to make a name for themselves. And that's just really impressive to me. Now, we got to hear from Tony McRae as well, Detroit Lions cornerback / special teamer. Now, Tony McRae came from Cincinnati, where he worked with Braden Combs, and Braden Combs was the special teams coordinator there. So we heard from Tony McRae. He discussed, the reason that he came to Detroit was obviously because Braden was coming over here as a special team coordinator, and also Matt Patricia being a Super Bowl head coach. Of course, our coach has won a Super Bowl before, and he's about to bring one to Detroit. I'm telling you guys, don't give up hope. It can happen. It's how good a position that the coaches put him in, because we know earlier in the week, Tony McRae had a 4 pass breakup day. 4 pass breakups. That's not normal. That's not normal for any cornerback. He had 4 in 1 practice, and he basically gave the credit to the coaches for putting him in the right position, and he just felt like he was in the right place at the right time. Guys, coaching matters. Okay, coaching is so important in football. Putting guys in position to be successful, and then the players have to do the rest. The players put Tony McRae in position to be successful. He did the rest. He came up with 4 pass breakups. I think he does make the final 53-man roster. What he gives to us on special teams, I think, is huge, and also that familiarity. So I actually do think that he makes the final roster. We have Jason Cavenda, who has switched from that linebacker position where he hasn't had a huge role with Detroit, and to the offensive side where he's playing fullback now. And this puts a lot of pressure on Nick Bawden, who had the rest day today. Puts a lot of pressure on him. Luke Sellers is already released. Now Jason Cavenda, competing for that fullback position. If he does make the team at the fullback position, it'll be a little bit like Nick Ballore, who was a linebacker and a fullback. And that also gives the Lions the versatility to put him on both sides of the ball, kind of like Jamal Agnew. Cavenda said it's been a pretty easy transition to the fullback position. A lot of that has to do, he credited, to playing running back in high school. He said he played running back in high school. Not only did he play running back in high school, the guy was a monster in high school. I guess he was a record-breaking running back, which is incredible. So that, has made the transition pretty easy. He said it's really fun to play offense, get some touchdowns. He doesn't have his touchdown celebration ready yet for when that happens, but but he will get that prepared. Jason Cabot talked about route running and how that can kind of help with covering guys out of the backfield. You kind of learn how they set up route, things like that. He hasn't had a lot of chances route running, even running back in high school. He just didn't do it. He ran the football a lot, and he didn't do it in college either. So there's a pretty long break, but he said it came back pretty fast, and a lot of that had to do with him playing running back in high school. So that's awesome. So Jason Cabot, man, competing for that fullback position. We'll see if he can win it. So heard Matt Patricia praise our wide receiver coach as well. Man, the mic'd up video is one that is a must-see, I will say. So as of now, that's what we have. The participation report, you know, we got to hear from some guys talk about some other players. Big Ten football could be returning, which would be amazing. I would love to have some football on some Saturdays, okay? You know what? I'd rather lose than not have games. I know some people think the other way, but not me, man. Especially for college, because I'm a way bigger Lions fan. I'm just going to be honest. So I just wanted to point that out, man. Those are your takeaways so far. If I do get more observations, I will definitely throw that video your way. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.